What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and today we are going to be reviewing Halloween Ends. Um, I came out October 14th on Peacock in the theaters and on the app. Supposedly this is going to be the last Halloween movie. But depending on how much money this makes, I'm sure somewhere down the road there will be another Halloween movie. Now, these set of movies that Blumhouse had made were a trilogy of movies that was supposed to follow Laurie Strode's from the first Halloween to the newer one that Blumhouse made until now. So basically, it's supposed to be these four movies in a continuous story. Uh, Anything from Halloween 2 on is not part of the movie canon. But the Halloween series, in a general sense, if you review them over time, there's at least 3 to 4 different time frames that they're using, different reboots, continuities, what have you. But we're going to be concentrating on the Halloween Ends in this video. Of course, starring Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. Michael Myers is back to cause mayhem and anarchy. And wait a minute, that's not Michael Myers. That's right. This movie starts off with a time jump from the past. It's supposed to be a year after Michael Myers' return. This kid who's getting ready to go to college came to babysit for parents. The kid had to be about 9 or 10. Near the end of the night, the kid was acting up a little bit and attempted to pull a prank on said babysitter. The babysitter got stuck in some sort of cabinet closet because of the kid. Finally, the guy was able to kick himself out of the closet, but unfortunately, the momentum of the door hit the kid, which caused him to go over the railing of 3 floors down and um, wound up getting Minecrafted. And in front of the parents, because they were just coming back from their Halloween party, because this was happening on Halloween. We jump back to now current time. This guy was able to not really do any sort of time because of said accident, but because of how Haddonfield is, a lot of people made him not forget what he had done. And much like how Laurie's history with Michael weighs heavily on how people interact with her, the same can be said about this guy. Legitimate accident. He didn't go out intending to do what he did to the kid, but it happened, and that's not something you can ever shake. So Laurie decides to help him out when she sees him getting bullied by band geeks of all people. That's like Jim from American Pie bullying someone. Um, but anyway, she helps him and invites. She winds up bringing him to the hospital where her granddaughter works. The granddaughter's living with her because in the last movie, the parents had also been Minecrafted by Michael Myers. In this case, so the granddaughter's been living with her. They've been building a great relationship, building a great rapport. In the beginning, she's doing like tarot cards with someone, and the death card comes up, and usually it's supposed to be a signal of rebirth as opposed to death in the tarot card uh, definitions or meanings. And so that's what we're kind of led to believe what this movie might be: new beginnings, fresh beginnings, saying goodbye to the old and saying hello to the new. Um, Laurie and the former babysitter, now mechanic, that works at his father's shop start building a rapport based off of how the town looks at them and the history with the town. The guy starts to want to leave because at a Halloween party him and the granddaughter go to, the mother of said child that went over the railing was at the bar that the party was going at, and for obvious reasons she's not the biggest fan of this guy. So it made him want to like take off. He didn't really explain to the granddaughter why. He runs into the band geeks again and they throw him over a bridge, but it's a kind of like a low bearing bridge where if you fell onto the grass like he did, you would be okay. But miraculously, there's a tunnel right there that Michael Myers has been living in for the last 4 years. And look, it took me 6 minutes to even mention the first appearance of Michael Myers in a Michael Myers movie. And he's an old man. He's still recovering from being half burnt. And he grabbed the kid and kind of did a dark man thing to him and seen into his soul. And ever since this interaction, the dude starts becoming a little bit more aggressive in his behavior. He's starting to do motions like Michael Myers. Like at one point, he was near Laurie's house, standing behind the bush, the way Michael did in the very first movie. There's at one point in the movie where he had fallen down and does the sit up like Michael Myers. Um, the granddaughter is kind of getting mad at Laurie because she feels like now that this guy is dangerous because she sees Michael's darkness in his eyes. And the granddaughter and her kind of start building, um, like, I'm not going to say rivalry for the guy, that's a dumb word. They start going at it with each other over the guy. Like, she's like, you should know how it is, and this and that, and and she should know how it is to be viewed as a monster when you're not, because at some point earlier on in the movie, she's at the supermarket with the older guy. I forget his name right now, but they have a flirtatious relationship. They love each other or whatever. You can clearly tell, but because of Laurie's walls that she's built, he takes it easy. He's not like doesn't pressure her or nothing. And when she left the supermarket, there was a woman who confronted her about Michael Myers and look what he did to my sister and this and that, and that's because of you antagonizing a mentally challenged man. And there's a local DJ that kind of says the same thing to the granddaughter. Your grandmother enticed a mentally ill man and he murdered people and this and that. And so she should know how it is, but in this instance, she's right. Again, as time goes forward, we see his time with his mother is not very nice. She's very overbearing, very touchy-feely with him. She actually kissed him on the lips at some point in front of his father. The father did nothing, and that led to him eventually taking out the mother. He finally took out the band geeks at the dump, as well as his father. He took him out. At one point, he goes back and takes out the DJ that was talking junk to the granddaughter. He kills a doctor and a nurse from a doctor's office that the girlfriend works at, who the doctor promoted the woman because she was, doing taxes with him, and he didn't like that, and he offed both of them too for the girlfriend. She's oblivious to this whole thing, the girlfriend. She is not aware that he's doing the McStabbies, so to speak. Can I get the McStabby meal with extra barbecue sauce? Um, She's unaware of that. Finally, near the end, he convinces her to run away, and his grand plan at this point, after he took care of everyone else, is go take the mask from Michael Myers, dress up like him, take out Laurie Strode, then take off with the granddaughter. So when the granddaughter was to find out that Laurie is done, and it looked like Michael did it because Laurie kind of confronted him about leaving the granddaughter alone. She knows that he's on a path that she doesn't want the granddaughter to go on. So, big confrontation at the end. You really think that this guy was going to overtake the role of Michael Myers, but no. At the end, when he realizes that he's not going to win, he said, "Well, if I can't have her, no one can," and he offs himself with um, the McStabbing Happy Meal situation, and the granddaughter happens to walk in as Laurie's pulling out the knife to try to stop the bleeding, and it looks like Laurie did it. She takes off, thinking that she took care of the boyfriend, and then Michael Myers shows up near the end, and Laurie and Michael Myers has this big confrontation. That was all of 5 minutes. She was able to McStabby Happy Meal his hands to the kitchen island. She was able to take him out. The granddaughter comes back and realizes by seeing Michael Myers and everything, like, oh, okay, da, da, da. Michael Myers is finally done. They parade him around town on top of a car to show everyone Michael Myers is no longer a viable threat. He's done. Done. Halloween ends, my guy. And Laurie is ready to move on with her life. The granddaughter decides to move somewhere else to shake off all this stuff. And that's it. If I was to give this a general score, I'd have to give this a 7 out of 10. As a general horror movie, it's decent, you know what I mean? But what really takes this down for me, and especially being a fan of the Halloween series the way I have been, I've watched every Halloween movie. I like some sort of parts of all the movies, even if I'm not the biggest fan of them. But this one was a big disappointment because I feel like this was really Jamie Lee Curtis's farewell to Laurie Strode. I think that's why, in a part, that this movie was called Halloween Ends, because on her part, I think she's done with this. You know, she did 3 more movies. She's an old bag at this point. Leave her alone. You know what I mean? Like with to that degree. I'm not saying she can't still act in different things, but she's been doing Halloween since 1976, 77. And that's as old as I am, you know what I mean? She's been doing Halloween for over 4 decades. Let her rest the character of Laurie Strode. Michael Myers was not in it very much for a Michael Myers movie. And then what he was in was a kind of like a disappointing showcasing of the whole thing. And like I said, for a horror movie, this was fine, but for a Halloween movie, highly disappointing. Yeah, I'm surprised they wanted to end it the way they did, the way they did, because they could have had this dude, become the new Michael Myers. It could have become not an individual Michael Myers, but a mantle of Michael Myers. The boogeyman is always going to be there. And yeah, they introduced a new character, gave him all this screen time, took it away from Michael Myers, and for nothing. There was no story growth in regards to that, and that's why I think this movie has been disappointing for a lot of Halloween fans. 7 out of 10, and some of the deaths were cool, some of the kills were cool. But yeah, as a Halloween story all around, it was a disappointing story, and I'm kind of sad to see it go out on such a sour note. Being I've invested all this time into the Halloween movies, but that doesn't mean that it won't be a great movie for you. I want you to tell me what your favorite Michael Myers movie has been down below. Let me know what you think about this movie in particular. What are some of your favorite parts? Are you disappointed to see it go? Do you want to see it come back as a different take? Let me know all that down below, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you all for subscribing, liking, and until next time, peace, Knuckles!